Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
Welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I specialize in using nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 28 years of practicing pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes and hypertension, obesity, all manner of skin diseases, psoriasis, eczema, acne, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure, because the human body is always a healing system. It is always a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis without drugs, without doctors, without insurance companies, without Obamacare, but it needs raw materials to do its work. The raw materials we call nutrition and nutritional supplementation, and while some folks may call that healing and renewing and regenerating system miraculous, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health and nutrition or prescription drugs, let us help you. Let us help you get off your get off your pharmaceuticals and get on a good nutritional supplement program. We welcome your calls at 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. We can help you change your life today. If you're dealing with a health crisis, a health challenge, if you have a loved one, friend, family member, workmate who is dealing with a health challenge, we can help you. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you want to purchase any of the longevity products you hear advertised or recommended on the program, you can call the Brightside Ben phone team at 866-735-2470, or you can head over to my blog, pharmacistben.com, which we update regularly with news stories as well as blog posts. You can order products directly off the website, pharmacistben.com. You can also go to criticalhealthnews.com, or brightsideben.com. You can sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off the website, or you can call the phone team at 866-735-2470, and they can give you the scoop. 866-735-2470. Our number today, 844-236-6010. We'll get your calls here in our second segment. Try to call in early so we can squeeze in as many calls as possible. Hate leaving people on hold. If we've left you on hold in the past, tell our call screener and we'll get you first up. 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. Okay, thank you for joining us once again on The Bright Side. We're talking zits, pimples, acne. Last we spoke, we were talking about this nearly universal skin condition, at least in the West, nearly universal in our Western society, affects 80 to 95% of teenagers. 40 to 50 million people are going to break out at one time or another. It is by far and away the most common skin disease. It's one of the most common of all diseases, skin or otherwise. And it's not a disease that affects indigenous cultures to any great degree. In some cultures, it doesn't even exist. It's quite rare. Obviously, then, acne is not an inevitable skin health issue. It's not an inevitable issue. And if you're dealing with it, please understand it involves something that we're doing to ourselves. And that means food. And that means diet. And that means nutritional supplementation, or the lack thereof. However, given all the crap we're fed via commercials and television and doctors and the medical model, via all the silliness that we're told about how to address skin health issues from dishonest, out-of-integrity commercials and celebrities, if we are truly going to address our skin health issues, acne, psoriasis, rosacea, whatever, we're going to have to understand how the whole thing is put together, how our health conditions develop. In the case of acne, how exactly the disease shows up. Last we spoke, we said acne is a pore and follicle issue. It is a pore issue and a follicle issue. It occurs in the openings in the skin. You can't really see them unless you look really, really, really closely or under a microscope. Pores are little openings to the structure, or it's actually an organ inside the skin called a follicle. The follicle is where the hair is produced, and between the follicle and the pore and the hair and a little oil gland that's located in that follicle. Can you imagine this? This is all happening. It's all occurring at the microscopic level. A little tiny gland, like a pump, is pumping out oil. A little tiny structure is making hair, and it's popping out of the opening in the skin, which is called a pore. The skin is covered with these hair-making structures. Each one of them has a microscopic oil pump. It's called a sebaceous or sebum gland, oil-making gland, and it's this three-part system: the gland that makes oil, the follicle, and the pore. It's a three-part system where a pimple begins. The pore and the follicle are like everything else in the body. They're lined with cells. They're made up with cells, and it's these cells that really are the beginning, where the beginnings of a pimple appear. All disease is cell disease, and the skin disease called acne is no different. A pimple is formed in its initial stage by overgrowing cells. This is a common way that cells exhibit dysfunction. All disease is cell disease, and one of the ways that cells manifest the disease state is by growing out of control and squirting out proteins or squirting out chemicals out of control. It's an out of control issue. The protein that's made by skin cells is called keratin. It's kind of like your fingernails. Your fingernails are made up of keratin. Horse hooves are made up of keratin. Feathers are made up of keratin. Keratin is a very common structure. So if you can imagine this hard protein that's being secreted in abundance by out-of-control growing cells, you can kind of see how a pimple is going to get formed. Acne is a skin cell disease. It results from sick skin cells. And these sick skin cells exhibit their disease by overgrowing and by squirting out lots of protein. And this is the basis or the beginnings of the formation of a pimple. Without the rapid development of these cells and the accumulation of the hard fingernail-like protein, you're not going to have a pimple. But once these cells begin their out-of-control division and growth, well, that's where you're going to get your pimple. You notice there's nothing here about bacteria. This is when you understand how a pimple forms, you can see how idiotic the idea is to just kill bacteria with an antibiotic or topical or systemic, or even worse, to give a hormone. This is one of the latest dermatological strategies for dealing with acne, to give hormones. But you can see the beginning of a pimple, the beginnings of the disease called acne, have nothing to do with bacteria. They have everything to do with out-of-control growing cells. Why do cells grow out of control? Well, the same reason why any cell gets sick or any cell gets dysfunctional. It's starving, it's suffocating, and it's toxic. And if any boneheaded medical professional gives somebody a hormone to deal with this kind of problem, they need to go back to medical school. They need to figure out they need to understand how a cell works. You're learning more on this program than your doctor knows if your doctor is still giving you a hormone or an antibiotic for your acne. So anyway, at this point, you've got these out-of-control growing cells. You've got the protein being squirted in abundance. You don't quite have a pimple yet. You have the beginnings of a pimple. At most, you're going to have a hard bump on the skin. Dermatologists will call, or skincare professionals will call these hard bumps milia, M-I-L-E-A. And milia is basically a little tiny cyst composed of dead cells, lots of dead cells, and this hard protein called keratin. The next component of the formation is the oil. So now you got this hard protein, you got lots of cells dividing, you got a little clog, you may have a little hard bump called a milia. Then you get the oils. Now, if skin cells grow over the oils, if skin cells grow over these hard oils, you still don't quite have acne. However, if skin cells grow over the oil and they trap bacteria, that's where you're going to run into problems. That's where you're going to run into your pimples. That's where pimples will really start to form. The combination of bacteria, oils, overgrowing cells, and hard protein. Even worse, under conditions of nutritional deficiency, sebum or skin oil becomes thick and sticky. Under ordinary circumstances, sebum or skin oil is going to flow out of the pores, and then the sebum will remain on the surface of the skin. The normal bacteria that live on the skin will convert it into volatile fats. We've talked about those. Those volatile fats will evaporate. But when the pores are starting to clog up with dead skin cells and hard protein, and the sebum is sticky, now you got a big problem. Then bacteria start to feed on the sebum, and this is where acne pimples. This is how an acne pimple forms. You notice nothing about hormones, nothing about antibiotics is really going to help change this condition.
Mike Stenerson from Midas Resources. At no time in history have precious metals been more important, certainly not in my 22 years in the industry. The dollar has lost over 90% of its value in the last 60 years. No fiat currency has ever survived the government printing presses. Ours is not immune. The time is now to be proactive. 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Anything tied to the dollar is at risk. CDs, annuities, 401ks, IRAs, stocks, bonds, you name it, so decide. Do you want to leave a legacy of wealth or debt for your family? The choice is yours. Call me at 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Be proactive, not reactive. Call 1-800-686-2237, extension 116.
There's a man named Dr. Joel Wallach who is anything but your typical doctor, both a veterinarian and naturopathic physician. Doc asks, why does the United States spend more money on healthcare by far and still rank 50th in health and longevity worldwide? He believes that people should empower themselves with a basic understanding of nutrition, take charge of their health, and attain optimal health and longevity through nutrition, not by toxic prescription drugs that lead to side effects and more toxic prescription drugs. Doc Wallach's message is resonating with an increasing number of Americans who are waking up to all the big government, big pharma, and big insurance manipulation of our healthcare system. I'm George Norrie, and I like what Doc Wallach is saying and doing to enlighten people about healthcare. Visit criticalhealthnews.com and listen to Dr. Wallach's Deadly Recipes lecture. It makes a lot of sense, and I urge you to join our Critical Health News team. Go to criticalhealthnews.com. That's criticalhealthnews.com.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective, and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
We are America's largest independently owned communications network, GCN.
Back on the bright side, got lines open for you, 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. If you want to join the Brightside Ben team, Start yourself a longevity business, make some money selling longevity products, and get your products at the wholesale price as well. Call the phone team at 866-735-2470. 866-735-2470. Make sure you ask them about the Beyond Tangy Tangerine multivitamin powder, multivitamin and mineral powder. Tastes great, works quickly, only $50 a canister, $50 or